are going to check whether the problem is balanced or unbalanced. So how you are going to check this? By adding the supply as well as demand. If we get a same answer, we say that problem is balanced. If it is different answer, the problem is unbalanced. If it is balanced, we are going to proceed that problem. If it is unbalanced, we are convert that problem into a balanced problem. Then we are going to proceed that problem. So by the first step, we are going to add the supply value. By adding the supply value, I get an answer as 100. Next, we are going to add the demand value. By adding all those demand value, I get the same as supply, that is the value was 100. So here the supply and demand as well as the same. So the problem is balanced. So we are going to proceed the problem. So first step, we are going to find the problem. So we are going to solve using a least cost method. The name itself is mentioned that it is a least value. So in this problem, we are going to learn what is the least value. Out of those all box values, we are going to know which is the least value. Here the least value will be 1. But the 1 is repeated so many times. So by so many times the 1 is repeated. So we are going to pick any one. So here I am going to pick the first 1 value. So I am going to pick the least value. The least value is 1. Out of 3 ones, I am going to pick the first 1 value. So I am going to allocate that 1 as a value. Next, we are going to compare those 2 values. So the first value is 30 and the next value is 20. Comparing these 2 values, the smallest number will be 20. So I am going to substitute that 20 in the allocated cells. After that, we are going to subtract that 20 with those 2 numbers. By subtracting these 2 numbers, 30 minus 20, I get an answer as 10. And by subtracting 20 minus 20, I get an answer as 0. So next, we are going to strike out the value which we can get an answer as 0. So here only I get an answer as 0. So I am going to strike out the first column. Next, we are going to write the remaining value in the next step. So this is the remaining value which we obtained from the log system. So here also we are going to find the out of those all box values, which one is least value. Here the least value is 1. Here also we get 2 ones. So out of these 2, we are going to choose any one. So I am going to choose this first one. By allocating the 1 value, we are going to compare those values. So the first value is 10 and the next value is 30. Comparing 10 and 30, the smallest number will be 10. So I am going to allocate those 10 in the allocated cells. Next, we are going to subtract those 10 with these 2 numbers. By subtracting these 2 numbers, I get an answer as 20. By subtracting these 2 values, I get an answer as 0. So next, we are going to cancel the 0 value. So here only I get an answer as 0. So I am going to strike out the first row. The next step, we are going to write the remaining numbers we obtained from the previous step. So these are the remaining numbers we obtained from the previous step. So again, we are going to find out of these all box values, which one is the smallest value. So here 1 is the smallest number. So I am going to allocate to 1. So next, we have to compare those 2 numbers. The first number is 50 and the next number is 10. Comparing these 2 numbers, 10 will be the smallest number. So I am going to allocate that 10 in this allocated space. Next, we are going to subtract those values with that respective values. So minus 10, minus 10. Here I get an answer as 0. By subtracting this one, I get an answer as 40. So next, we are going to count which one I get an answer as 0. Here only I get an answer as 0. So I am going to strike out this column. So because I get an answer as 0, so we are going to strike out the answer which I get as 0. Next, in the next step, we are going to write the remaining numbers which we obtained from the previous step. Again, we are going to do the same step only. We are going to count which one is the least value. So out of those all box values, 2 will be the least number. Here I am getting 2 2s. So out of these 2 2s, we are going to choose any 2 number. So here I am going to choose this 2 as an allocated cells. So comparing these 2 numbers, 40 and 20. 20 will be the smallest number. So I am going to allocate that 20 in this allocated cells. Then we are going to subtract those 20 with the respective 2 numbers. By subtracting this, I get an answer as 0. And here I get an answer as 20. So we are going to strike out the column which I get an answer as 0. The next step, we are going to write the remaining values which we obtained from the previous step. Again, we are going to do the which one is the smallest number. In the box value, I get the smallest number as 2. So I am going to allocate the value in this 2 allocate that 20 in the allocated cells. By subtracting those two values, here I get an answer as 0 and here I get an answer as 20. Here I get an answer as 0, so I am going to strike out those two values. Again, in the last step, we are going to write the remaining values which we obtained from the previous step. In the last step, we get both the values, that is, we get both the answers, same number. So we are going to allocate back those 20 in the allocated cells. Next, we are going to write the, what is the question? I am writing all those questions. Again, we are going to write the, what are the allocation which we done in the previous step. In the first allocation, I allocate 20 to 1. So I am writing those 20 in the 1 cell. In the next allocation, I am going to allocate that 10 to the 1 place. So I put the that 10 in the 1 place. Likewise, we are going to do the all the allocation which we done in the all those steps. Those all allocation will be appeared in the task table. Finally, it is same as in the north plus formula. We are going to multiply those allocated cells with the respective box value. Here the allocated cell will be 20, and the box value will be 1. 20 into 1 plus 10 into 1 plus 20 into 3 plus 20 into